Hello, you guys, and thank you for joining today's webinar, Illuminate Your Shadow. So today we're going to be exploring our triggers in shadow work and understanding what the shadow self actually is. So thank you again for joining me, and let's just go ahead and jump right on in. So what we will be covering today is what triggers are and how they manifest in our life. Also, the concept of the shadow self and its significance, as well as how to identify and work through triggers for personal growth and transformation. So, what are triggers? In the simplest terms, triggers in the integrated attachment theory, which I'm trained and certified in, they're like buttons that push our emotional reactions based on our past experiences. And it's with the most important people in our lives too, like our parents, our caregivers. And these triggers can make us feel secure or anxious or want to avoid certain situations altogether. They can be anything from seeing a certain object to hearing a specific tone or voice, just reminding us of past experiences and affecting how we feel and act in the present, in the here and now. So understanding these triggers really helps us manage our emotions and our relationships better. All of our relationships, our romantic, our friendships, our families, even our work-related relationships or coworkers. So triggers are deeply rooted within our subconscious, and they often connect to unresolved traumas, past hurts, or unhealed wounds. They also serve as an alarm bell or a signal that something within us has been activated and it needs our attention. And triggers can manifest in various ways, which include emotional reactions, which is a feeling of like overwhelm or angry or anxious in a response to a certain situation or interaction. It also affects our behavioral patterns, engaging in repetitive behaviors or coping mechanisms as a response to the triggers, such as avoidance or even lashing out. It affects our physical sensations, so experiencing those bodily symptoms like tension or nausea or that rapid heartbeat when triggered. And it also affects our thought pattern. It actually opens up those negative thought spirals and really just gives us that distorted thought pattern based on that trigger and based on old beliefs. So let's now talk about the concept of the shadow self and its significance and how these just kind of, coincide. So the shadow self is the concept introduced by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, and it refers to the unconscious aspects of our personality that we repress, deny, or disown. These hidden aspects often include traits, emotions, desires, and impulses that we find uncomfortable or undesirable. While the shadow self primarily consists of negative or dark qualities, it can also contain positive traits of untapped potential known as the golden shadow. So acknowledging and integrating our shadow self is crucial for personal growth and wholeness. And just so you know that healing truly happens with integration and equilibration. So this is going to teach you both of those things so we can actually heal some of these past traumas and unhealed wounds. So by bringing these hidden aspects into the conscious awareness, we can actually gain a deeper self-understanding of ourselves. Exploring our shadow self allows us to uncover the underlying motives, fears, and desires that influence our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It cultivates self-compassion. Embracing our shadow self with compassion and acceptance enables us to make peace with our imperfections and our vulnerabilities. This next one I want you to pay close attention to. It helps us break free from unconscious patterns by confronting and working through our shadow. We can break free from repetitive cycles of self-sabotage, projection, and avoidance. And lastly, unlocks the hidden potential, integrating the positive aspects of our shadow self, the golden shadow. It empowers us to the top into our dominant talents, strengths, and creativity. Now, how do we identify these, and how do we even work through these triggers of our shadow self for that personal growth and transformation? Well, here's some steps that you can take to navigate this journey. So one is self-awareness. So pay close attention to your emotional responses and behavioral patterns in various situations. Notice when you feel triggered and explore those underlying reasons behind your reactions. 2, identify triggers. Identifying specific triggers by examining reoccurring themes, situations, or interactions that invoke strong emotional responses, and maybe keeping a journal to track those triggers and those thoughts and those emotions so you can kind of see how they associate together. 3, explore the root causes. So dive deeper into the root causes of your triggers by reflecting on the past experiences, traumas, or core beliefs that may be contributing to your reactions, and seek support of a therapist or counselor if needed. So if you are being highly triggered by someone and your reaction to that is very unhealthy, maybe even developing an unhealthy coping mechanism, I highly recommend seeking support. 4, practice mindfulness. So cultivate mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or body scanning to stay grounded and present when you are triggered. Mindfulness can help you observe your triggers without reacting impulsively. I will touch upon this a little bit later, but yeah, just being very present within the body, what's going on when you're triggered, how you are feeling, where you feel it physically in your body. We'll discuss that a little bit later, but that's very important. 5, challenge your distorted thoughts. Challenge those negative or distorted thoughts that arise when triggered. Question the validity of the beliefs and consider alternative perspectives or interperspectives. 6, embrace self-compassion. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself as you work through these triggers, and offer yourself kindness and understanding, knowing that healing is a gradual process. This will not happen overnight. Seek support. Reach out to trusted friends, family members, mental health professionals, coaches like myself, and share your experiences and insights with others who can offer empathy and more perspective. And lastly, practice self-care. Prioritize self-care activities that nourish your mind, body, and spirit. Engage in activities that bring you joy, relaxation, fulfillment, and also set boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. So these are the ways that you can identify and work through it. And I know that was a lot. So here is a quick, few steps to remember when you are triggered and how to work through it. So 1, just really notice the emotion. 2, what behavior bothered you? 3, what trait were you judging? So what behavior bothered you and what was the trait that they were exhibiting that you were judging? And 4, where is this trait mine? Meaning, where can you find this within yourself? Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm going to give you an example here. Say you are in traffic and you're patiently waiting and somebody cuts you off and squeezes in and causes even more of a delay or a backup, and you get very angry, right? You notice the emotion and you're like, oh, this is so frustrating, what a jerk. And then you realize, okay, let's see, is it the person cutting me off? Is it having to be delayed a little bit longer? Like, what was the behavior? Well, obviously, this person cut me off, right? And you're looking at their trait, which is they were being disrespectful and just, not even taking an account that there were other people, waiting before him. So you are seeing that trait and you're judging it. And then you ask yourself, okay, well, where is that trait mine? So you see this trait of being disrespected, right? This person just totally disrespected me and everybody else, and they're doing whatever they want. Well, why am I being so triggered? Like, we're all stuck here in traffic. I could be patient, but this is triggering me. This is, making me feel charged in an emotional way. But why? Okay, so then you think again, this person cut me off. You're thinking about the behavior. What were they doing? It wasn't really what they were doing, but it was what emotion and trait you were putting to that. This person was disrespecting me. Well, where's that trait yours? Are you disrespecting yourself in some way? Are you disrespecting yourself by maybe not leaving early enough? Maybe you didn't leave on time. And so that triggered you, which is seeing subconsciously you were at fault for putting you in this position. Or maybe you can see where you are disrespectful to others when you are in a hurry or you are in a rush, right? And that's not something that you really like about yourself. That's not an authentic version of you. So it triggers you. So as you can see, if you work through these 4 steps, you can kind of start understanding like, maybe that's why this is bothering me so much. And actually there is 4 pathways or doorways, as Thais Gibson, my coach and mentor, likes to explain. And those 4 different pathways or doorways of the shadow into yourself can really just help you more fine-tune what your shadow self is bringing attention to that you need to work on. And the 4 doorways, and we'll go over them here, is charged judgment. A person who triggers you or rubs you the wrong way, or like feeling resentment. Also the golden shadow, that's another pathway or doorway, and the self-loathing and self-judgment. So I just kind of want to talk about each of those. So obviously the first one, being charged or having judgment, that like goes back to, the example that I gave of, being stuck in traffic. But have you ever found yourself just like reacting really strongly in a situation or with a person and feeling like emotionally charged, passing judgment? If so, these are this pathway into your deeper self. So this happens, take a moment to reflect on the recent experiences where you felt particularly charged or judgmental. And what might this be revealing about your inner landscape or your inner self, right? So again, taking it back to the example, what is it that maybe you are doing within yourself, okay, that this person just brought to light, mirrored to you? And the second one is, when a person triggers you or just rubs you the wrong way, or you have like a little bit of resentment. Certain individuals who have an act for pushing buttons or, really eliciting strong emotional responses. But why do they trigger us? Like, that's what you have to think. Like, certain people are going to do this. The answer may lie, though, within your own unresolved issues or unhealed wounds. So think of someone who consistently triggers you or rubs you the wrong way. What qualities or behaviors in them mirror aspects of yourself that you may want to avoid or deny? Okay, so that's number 2, or the second pathway or doorway, is like a person who triggers you in the like rubs you the wrong way, resentment type way. Okay, and then the third doorway pathway is the golden shadow. The golden shadow encompasses the positive traits and qualities that we admire in others, but we may struggle to acknowledge them or even like exhibit them, or we may be scared to even just, actually possess them or show them for fear of judgment. So those hidden gems hold valuable insight into our unstoppable potential. So consider someone that you look up to or admire, and what qualities or strengths do they possess that you secretly admire or aspire to embody, right? What might you integrate, or how might you integrate those traits into your own life, your own concepts, your own work, your own version, right? An example of this can be seeing somebody on social media that you admire, and maybe you really admire the fact that they have like a beautiful home that's always clean and very aesthetically pleasing, right? And you have to then look, well, how may I integrate that into my life, instead of just always looking at this woman and going, oh, lucky her, oh, it's easy for her, having that mindset. So that's the third doorway or pathway. And the last one here is the self-loathing or self-judgment. We really live in a time where the poor me mentality is very strong out there. The victim mentality, if I'm unhappy, you need to be unhappy too type of mentality. And this is where a lot of people get triggered in the self-loathing, self-judgment pathway or doorway. So self-loathing and self-judgment are common manifestations of unresolved trauma and negative core beliefs. By cultivating self-compassion and self-acceptance, we can begin to heal these deep-seated wounds. So reflect on a time when you were particularly harsh or critical towards yourself. What underlying beliefs or experiences may be fueling those self-judgments? And how can you offer yourself kindness and understanding instead? Okay. So this can be, when you see, somebody having a great life, and you are just, oh, I'll never have that. That's not for me. That person's just so lucky. And gosh, I'm just such a loser. And, I'm never going to be worthy of that. That when you're having that kind of self-judgment and self-loathing, and you get triggered by seeing somebody that has that, you really then need to, one, just give yourself some grace. It's just you wanting, again, maybe those things in which they have for yourself in your own way, but you're judging yourself for not having them now. Who's to say you won't have them in the future? But you have to let go of the I will never and the poor me and oh, it's only good for them type of internal dialogue and energy. So those are the 4 different pathways or doorways into the shadow self that kind of helps you identify where the work needs to go. And we can be triggered on all 4 of these planes. Like, it happens to us often. Even the most secure person will be triggered, will have some shadow work that they need to work on. The difference is when you are a more secure person, you learn the tools. First, you recognize the problem, you learn the tools, the knowledge, and then you apply it. You don't just continue to go on the cycle. You make the changes necessary to improve your life instead of getting stuck on the hamster wheel. So there's just a few other little bonuses that I wanted to offer to you regarding the shadow self and how it kind of plays into another area of our life, and how we can kind of dig a little bit deeper into the shadow work to heal core wounds, understand our attachment styles, heal relationship wounds, and, just set our boundaries, have better communication, and understand maybe our personality needs. So the first one is the relationship shadow that I wanted to talk about. So our relationships often serve as mirrors. So they reflect back to us aspects of ourselves that we may not fully be aware of. By exploring our relationship shadow, we can gain valuable insight into our patterns and our dynamics. So think about a significant relationship in your life. What reoccurring patterns or conflicts emerge or continue to emerge, right? And how might those patterns be linked to your own unresolved issues or childhood experiences? This can be when you are attracting the same type of partner, or you find yourself dating the same type of person and you wonder, why am I always attracted to this? That is a wonderful place to start, because you might be desiring something that they exhibit in themselves, or you might be seeing something within them that you are not happy with within your own self, or you're exhibiting to others. Also, when you are continuously triggered within a relationship, that only gives you more opportunity to grow and strengthen that relationship with your partner, and opens up a dialogue to have a conversation on what you may be going through, and letting them know, hey, it's no fault of your own. It's nothing that you're doing, saying, or acting. It's something within myself, but you just mirrored that to me. And I need to work through this. You can ask for their help or seek guidance from a professional or like a coach like myself. So the relationship shadow, there's a lot to it. So if you're interested in knowing more, please reach out to me. And then just to quickly touch upon like deeper shadow work, delving into that deeper layer of the shadow requires courage and vulnerability. Like it truly does. We have to peel back layers upon layers and really get down to those root core feelings that have been ingrained in us because of childhood trauma or programming, the way that we were conditioned. So through guided exercises and introspection, we can unearth buried traumas, core wounds, limiting beliefs that continue to shape our lives today. And what I always like to say is we don't want to allow the past to affect our present, because that's not even a reality anymore. That's not something that is serving us. We have lessons and memories that we can take from that, but we shouldn't be living from a point of the past. We need to be more present. So just close your eyes and imagine descending into the depths of your subconscious and what memories or emotions surface. So really just when you have time, do this little exercise and allow yourself to explore those hidden aspects of curiosity and compassion. Okay. So if it is uncomfortable for you to do this exercise, sitting with your eyes closed, trying to, really think about those things that affect you on a core level, those memories that are charged, that bring emotion, that might affect you physically, bringing tears to your eyes, make you shake, make you cringe, make you feel nauseous, give you a headache. Those type of things really need to be investigated. If you're having trouble sitting with that, again, please reach out to a professional or a coach or a mentor who can really help you along that journey and support you. Because I'll tell you one thing for sure, it gets very uncomfortable to the point that you don't want to continue some of this shadow work. And if you do not have somebody in your corner cheering you on, giving you the support and holding your feet to the fire, the accountability that you need, you will fall short and give up eventually. And you will be stuck on that hamster wheel. And everything with the subconscious mind, because our subconscious mind only speaks in emotion and imagery. And our subconscious mind gets programmed with emotion with repetition over time. Okay. So an emotionally charged situation over and over and over again for a long period of time creates these long or these deep grooves in our subconscious mind. And it is so hard to get off of those ingrained roadways that we have to use our conscious mind to speak to it. But it does not speak in language. Like I mentioned, it only communicates through imagery and emotion. So if you are in a situation where you are being triggered and you are in the moment, try this tip. What I want you to do is feel. Well, first you're going to need to recognize the emotion. So example, you are triggered, you feel anger. Okay, then I want you to recognize or investigate where you are feeling that in your body. Okay, how are you feeling that in your body physically? Okay, so you're angry. All right, I'm feeling it in my body as a heat sensation all over me. I'm getting hot. My ears are hot, right? So when you are recognizing that, you then need to use the emotion and imagery to talk to the subconscious mind. So what you're going to do, because the subconscious mind is what's triggered you in the first place, okay? You think it might be your conscious mind, but it's not. So what you're going to do is, I'm angry, I'm hot. Now I'm going to visualize drinking a nice big cool glass of water that is going to cool me off from the inside. It's going to cool off this inferno that just started because of this trigger, right? So it's cooling me off. That's a feeling that I'm having. It's creating comfort. I'm calming down, right? So in the moment when you are feeling triggered and you have that emotion, you need to identify where it is in your body and heal it. So it could be knots in the stomach. Visualize it being untied and creating comfort, right? Because when you're uncomfortable, you usually get those knots in the stomach type feeling. If you're feeling maybe unheard, right? Or you're not able to use your voice and you're feeling it in your throat, you're triggered because of that. Maybe you're going to visualize your airways just opening up and taking some deep breaths. These are all of the things that you need to do to have the conscious mind, because you're now consciously doing these things, remember, to speak to your subconscious mind, who does not speak in language, but only speaks through emotion and imagery. And that's why our subconscious mind gets triggered so much, is because we as humans are emotionally charged humans, right? We are emotionally charged creatures, and everything produces an emotion, whether good or bad. So I hope that you guys have gotten some value and a little information and knowledge out of this. And, I'm not sure if you want to dive deeper or really go into more depth over any of these topics or any of these steps or exercises. But if so, I would love to help you. As we wrap up, I did want to remind you guys to, take what you've learned about the triggers and facing your shadow in life's journey. And every moment is a chance to learn and grow. So embrace all of the parts of yourself, the good and the not so good, because that's what makes you you. When you do that, you'll find yourself living more authentically and purposefully. So keep on exploring, keep on growing, and keep on shining, you guys. And if you are ready to dive deeper and you want to discover more about yourself and your potential, you guys, I would be so thrilled to offer you guys a complimentary discovery call, and we can explore more together. It is a complimentary call, normally lasts 30 to 60 minutes, depending on what we go over. But I am here to help. This is what I love. This is my passion. This is my calling. And I really just want to share more things like this with you guys, and get the knowledge I'm learning that I'm finding helpful within my own life, with others, so you guys can benefit too. So thank you guys so much for attending this webinar. I look forward to future webinars and workshops and teachings together. And I hope that you just have the most amazing day. And remember, I am here for you. I'm cheering you on. I am in your corner. And if you guys need me, you know where to find me. Have a great day. Bye.